How is good everyone? Today I'm here with my WWE Mixed Match Challenge Season 2 Week 6 review. Without wasting time, let's go and jump right into the video with my real thoughts on this week's episode of the Mixed Match Challenge Season 2. It was a decent show. I enjoyed it for what it was. The Raw match was actually, somewhat decent this week compared to the last 2 weeks where it's just been absolutely horrible. I actually enjoyed this week's Raw tournament match. And of course, the SmackDown Live match, as always, was pretty entertaining for what it was. There wasn't much wrestling to it, but it was entertaining. And that's what this show is supposed to be, entertaining. And I feel like the last couple weeks, this show really hasn't been all that good in terms of, whether it's just the wrestling itself or being entertaining. I just feel like the show's been falling flat, and I definitely feel like this week was definitely a step up from the last couple weeks. So I don't know. I still feel like the show is definitely losing its momentum and losing its purpose because, like I said, this show has always been, the show where you can watch it and just have fun and always enjoy it. And I feel like, if they keep going with it, it's just going to lose its luster. And it already kind of has, to be perfectly honest. But I don't know. It was decent. It was a decent episode. No really complaints, real complaints for me about this week, to be perfectly honest. But, of course, the first match we had was, of course, the Raw Mixed Match Challenge match. Finn Balor and Bayley taking on Bobby Roode and Natalya. Right from the get-go, there's some comedy stuff, Bayley or Natalya give Bayley her ears and whatnot. And then Balor and Bobby Roode actually switched robes, which was kind of funny. Well, Finn Balor put on Bobby Roode's robe, and Bobby Roode robe, and then Bobby Roode put on Finn Balor's jacket. They did a whole thing where, Bobby Roode did the 2 sweep, and then Balor did the whole glorious pose. Then Balor actually tried to hit Bobby Roode with a glorious DDT, which Bobby Roode backed out of. Couldn't get out of the jacket, so he tagged in Natalya. Natalya and Bayley were in. Just some chain wrestling, some back and forth. They locked up and whatnot. And, Bayley took control for a little bit. Then Natalya cut her off. Sent her to the outside. Went to do a suicide dive, but Bobby Roode actually cut her off. Tagged himself in so that you don't do dives. You're not going to do that. I'm saving the match for us. In doing so, Finn Balor tried to roll Bobby Roode. Bobby Roode kicked out of it. Finn Balor got the upper hand drop kick, and Bobby Roode and him had some back and forth action. Finn Balor hit a sling blade, but which Natalya broke up. And as, Natalya was trying to lift up Bobby Roode to try and tag herself in, Bayley just ran in and ran on top of their backs and ran over Natalya to take her out. And then she was celebrating that she took Natalya out, which confused me. And her and Balor went for a hug. Natalya swept her legs and pulled her to the outside. With a distraction, Bobby Roode hit a blockbuster followed by a spine buster, which was setting up for the finish. And then Bobby Roode actually went up for the coup de grace. So he tried to copy Finn Balor's move, went for it, but he missed by, well, first off, Balor rolled out of the way, but even before that, Bobby Roode missed by a mile anyway, so it didn't really matter. Balor gets out of the way, drop kick to Bobby Roode, followed by the coup de grace for the 1-2-3. So Finn Balor and Bayley get the win over Bobby Roode and Natalya. It was entertaining for what it was. I thought the little interactions at the beginning with Bobby Roode and Finn Balor were entertaining. The ring work was kind of fine, and I liked the finish as well. So no complaints. Like I said, one of the better Raw Mixed Match Challenge matches from this season. And then we go to the main event, which was the SmackDown Live Mixed Match Challenge match. Of course, The Miz and Asuka taking on Jimmy Uso and Naomi. Right from the get-go, it was Naomi and Asuka going at it. They just, Asuka, typical chain wrestling. They locked up chain wrestling, and they both went for the ass attack, which, they were like, that's kind of funny. Both went for that. And they did the whole comedy thing where they just, they shook hands, they did a whole little dance, they did a shimmy, they hugged out, and Miz what the hell are you doing? He even said that. And then Jimmy Uso got in the ring, hey, they're just hugging. And Miz you don't hug in wrestling. And they're all just trying to do oh, they all hugged each other, Miz, come on, hug with us. And Miz no, I'm out. So Miz tried to leave. Jimmy Uso ran, threw him back in the ring, and then Miz ran to Jimmy Uso right into a bear hug. So I thought that was clever because the whole thing was about hugging. And of course, Jimmy Uso then locked in a bear hug, so I thought that was pretty entertaining. They had some good back and forth action. I thought Miz and Jimmy Uso had some pretty good chemistry in the ring. Jimmy Uso set Miz up in the corner, or in the corner. Miz went for the clothesline, got out of it. Jimmy Uso went for the top for the splash, and Miz knocked him down. So I thought the Miz and Uso and Jimmy Uso did a pretty good job in the ring. And then of course, Asuka and Naomi got the hot tag, and then Naomi ran a rough shot over Asuka until Asuka had a little comeback, hitting the knee on to Naomi, but Naomi had to come back of her own. Set up for the split-legged moonsault, but when she went for it, Miz pulled Asuka out of the way. Miz tagged himself back in. Miz and Uso were legal. Uso hit the Samoan drop onto the Miz, which sent him to the outside, as well as Asuka. Oh, no. He did a Samoan drop, which set him up in the corner, and then Asuka tried to intervene, but Naomi took her out, so they're both in the corner. They both did the corner hip attacks, which Naomi missed Asuka by a mile, but Uso apparently hit the Miz. I don't know. That sent him to the outside, and then Jimmy Uso went for the dive on the outside, but Miz actually hit him with the left hand, slayed him, kind of disorientated him, so Naomi said, fuck it, I'll go do the dive instead. She went for it. Miz threw Asuka into Naomi in midair, so Naomi hitting Asuka. Miz runs comes back in the ring, hits a skull crusher finale for the 1-2-3 and defeats Jimmy Uso and Naomi. So the Miz and Asuka are victorious. They continue their undefeated streak in the Mixed Match Challenge. They didn't lose season 1. They haven't lost season 2 yet. So very impressive streak by those two, and pretty entertaining match. I thought it was fun. I thought the interactions, the comedy stuff was good, and I thought the in-ring work was pretty solid as well. So no complaints from me about this week of the Mixed Match Challenge. Once again, as always, the SmackDown Live match reigns superior. However, the Raw match was not bad this week. So no complaints. It wasn't a bad episode. It wasn't a good episode. It was a decent episode. That's all I can really say about it. But yeah, next week we have AJ Styles and Charlotte, of course, taking on Rusev and Lana. So that should be a fun, entertaining match right there. And we'll be having Braun Strowman and Ember Moon taking on Jinder Mahal and Alicia Fox. Yay! The Raw matches just keep getting better. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, please like below. Until next time, I'll see you guys later. Thank you guys for watching the video. Not giving